Good morning. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. Here we share our views and perspectives on issues affecting you and I. With me in the studio is
Abraham Minor Judah, good morning.
Morning Abraham. Good to see you.
Good
You're
to see
looking
you.
great.
And you too.
Hope you had a pleasant weekend.
Well, it was. I hope you. How was the protest today? How many places did you touch?
Well, for us here in Taraba, it has been so peaceful. Well, it was so organized and there was no issue at all. No
That's
issue of concern, no looting, and the rest of it. Well, protesters all over the country, the end backed governance protest is still on, though the president came out and speak. Most people, most Nigerians, especially the young Nigerians that are protesting against hunger, against bad governance in the country, are not satisfied as we still have youths outside protesting in some states. What's your view on the president's approach to the entire protest issue?
well. I think the president left it a little too late, and the time to speak was before the protest started. Since the protest has started, what you speak now is action. The whatever the governor, the president says should be backed with immediate action. Nigerians are used to promises. So any promise you make, whether you're going to keep it or not, they consider as just one of those rhetorics that the politicians make or the leaders make. So, and the general concern was that the promises made and the rest of it and the assurances he gave is nothing different from what was there even before the protest came on. Well, it is good that he spoke to us, but I think the youth need, what Nigerians need in general is that there should be action. We should be seeing things happening. The actions of the government should speak louder to everyone than all the words they are saying. That's just my view for now.
Well, do you feel the protesters should still be on the street, seeing the level of destruction we've witnessed in some states like Kano, Kaduna, properties and life were lost?
Well, I am in support of people exercising their rights to protest, and I'm totally against the uh, people vandalizing properties or making protest non-violent. Now, if you look at it from both sides, in the areas whereby you're having violence, it is good the protesters pull out so that these hoodlums and these third columnists will not come and put spanners into their work and make protests become a negative thing in Nigeria, because this violence is beginning to give protest a bad name in Nigeria, which is not supposed to be. But while in those areas where the things are largely peaceful, I think the right for them to protest within their rights in collaboration with security agencies is a welcome idea. Let the peaceful protest continue and let it be peaceful as peaceful. And the moment you see that there's one violence or the other, I will advise the protesters to pull out of that area so that they will not use that opportunity to give the protest a bad name. And I will call upon the security agencies again to be proactive, to nip all this destruction in the bud. You shouldn't react to when they started destruction before you act. You have to look at you have to use technology, use intelligence to find out what is going, where are people gathering. Are these people gathering for good? Are they gathering to protest, or they are gathering for destruction? These are the things that we need to look into. And I also appeal to the state governors to answer their name as chief security officers. It seems now it is even much easier for state governors to manage the 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 the, the situation better than the federal. Because a typical example is Taraba State. We saw that a day before the election, the Governor Kefas was able to interact with Tarabians, and he told them the day before the protest. And on the day of the protest, He also came out and engaged the protesters. And yesterday, he also had meetings with youth from every local government in Taraba State. So these are the kind of things that, yes, the people will say, yes, the government is listening to us. And also through him, the information will get to the federal government. So the state government should begin to also take responsibility for what is going on.
Abraham, on a scale of 1 to 10, how will you rate the actions of the security agencies during this whole protest?
Well, I will rate them higher than before. They've done, at least I will use, I don't want to use third party information. I want to use the information based on what I see and information that are verifiable. From what I see in Jalingo here, they've been top notch. They've been very, very professional. And in some places too, they've been professional. But there have been issues of them being high handed in some other places. And let us be factual to ourselves. You will never see anyone commit a crime and the police arrested that will say he committed a crime. He will say he was just going on his own. Any vandal they arrest, he will call himself a protester. So while we should call on the police and the security agents to be more professional, we should also give them high marks for the way they've been able to handle the protest in some areas. So it is a 50-50. I would say it's 5/10. 5/10. It's a 50-50 mark.
Well, kudos to the governor of Taraba State, His Excellency Dr. Abukefas, and I must commend him. And we urge other governors to emulate him. Let there be constant communication and let the communication line be open so that the youth will know this is what the government has in store for us. But looking at these days, since from the 1st of August till now, there are people that do businesses and get what to eat daily from it. So there are states that these protests have hampered economic activities. We are losing millions and billions of naira as a country as a result of this protest. Is it really worth it? Can the country be losing money, people losing their businesses, not getting income? Don't you feel to me, the aim of the protest is the government should listen to us, the government should hear us by taking action. Don't you feel the message has been loud enough for the protesters to go back, or if possible, now go into town hall meetings and draft out their plans or what they need in details and realistic goals that the government can achieve in the short term, in the mid term, and on the long run?
Well, I think the protest itself should be a means to an end and not an end in itself. The protest is meant to achieve something. The protesting is not the achievement, but you are meant to achieve something. So, as it stands, we've made the government to listen, we've made them to speak, but I don't think the government has acted. They've spoken, they've listened, they've spoken, but the action that Nigerians need, they've not acted. But let us give them the benefit of doubt because there is no point continuing the protest and killing the economy. So there's always a time to re-strategize. There's always a time to sit back and say, this strategy, we've moved from point A to B, move from B to C, what should we do? Initially, we thought we would do 10 days, but with what we've seen, let us stop at day 6 or day 7 and re-strategize. Now it is time for, but the issue we're having again is that this is a leaderless protest. You and I might decide not to go, another group will decide to go. And there are even pockets of street protesters and the rest, especially in areas that are volatile. So, well, there are known organizations that are into this protest. If they lead the line and begin to withdraw, I believe the other little ones will also begin to see that it seems the protest is moving out of the street. into probably the town hall or into committees to look at their situations. So I would say continue the protest without any re-strategizing is we even abuse the process of protest because people need to go about their daily needs. A lot of transport companies suspended traveling. I know that from Lagos to Jalingo, some transport companies suspended travel throughout last week. I don't know if they have resumed now. So it has hampered business across the country, and some people depend on their daily, they work daily to feed. The moment you take away, the moment they can't wake up early in the morning to go out for the day, there is nothing for them to eat on that day.
Well, like you said, it's a leaderless kind of protest, and we've been seeing their requests flying all over the internet. But there's this request that have been consistent. That's they said subsidy
Yes.
should be returned. In your honest opinion, do you feel that the government should return fuel subsidy?
This is a big one. In my opinion, subsidy in the first place was not meant to be a permanent solution. It was a temporary, it was a palliative that Nigeria refused to stop. We should, if we bring back subsidy at the rate that it is now, with the corruption in the system, you will end up finding out that, well, you are buying fuel for less, but the value of the naira will devaluate further. I think what we should do now is to look at how to work on the value of the naira. If the value of the naira improve, if the economic improve, if food production improves, we will be able to earn enough to buy fuel at that rate. After all, even though at 900, we still have one of the cheapest fuel in the world. And people in countries that pay less minimum wage than us, they still buy fuel at that price. But the thing is that the economy is tanked. The economy is at a period whereby things are hard. So by the time you spend money on fuel, you spend money on food and everything is high, it tells on you. But the fact of the matter is that bringing back subsidy is like postponing the evil day. What government needs to do is to look at how to alleviate the pressures of subsidy removal. That is what we all agree that this thing has to go. And you see, is also part the issue of subsidy is also part of the reason why our refineries are not working, because they import this fuel and they get subsidy over it. They make billions of naira on it. So instead of us going back, I think we should move forward in the right direction. Going back to subsidy, to me, we are just postponing the evil day. It will come, and as a matter of fact, to for us to subsidize fuel now, from what we do, we need to be taking loans steadily on a monthly basis. We will continue to take those loans on a monthly basis, and then we have gas. We have gas. We can use compressed. We can use other source of energy for electricity for our vehicles, and we need to be innovative. We can't go back. Subsidy was brought in the 80s to solve the issues of the 80s. We are now in 2024. Are we saying that we can't move beyond that? I think to me, subsidy should go, but everything must be put in place to alleviate the pressures of that subsidy. That is what I think most of the economists are saying.
Well, I feel if all hands should be on deck, the people will understand the entire subsidy stuff is not really sustainable. But now that the states definitely have more money to the state, it should not the pressure should not be at the center only.
Yes.
So governors, local government chairman, and everyone in the chain should like let's see subsidy is gone. Let's see one or two
Two
things
things,
that
yeah.
the money is being meant for. Thank you for staying with us, listeners. We are due for a break. And when we return, federal government asks citizens to register to get rice at a subsidized rate, subsidy again, at 40,000 naira, a 50 kg bag of rice. Stay with us, please.
Haske maganin duhu.
Welcome back. This is the breakfast show. Before we went for the break, federal government have asked residents and citizens in Nigeria to register to buy rice at a subsidized rate, a 50 kg bag of rice for 40,000 naira. Well, at this time, it's a way of alleviating the hardship experienced in the country as a result of the economic downturn and the subsidy removal in Nigeria. Do you feel this is kind of sustainable? How does it plan to work? How will it get to the grassroots? And if someone that does not want to buy a whole 50 kg, how does it work? Don't you feel a kind of marketers will still hijack the process and still sell it at a higher price?
Well, let me say, when I heard the news that rice is sold at 40,000 naira for 50 kg, I smiled to myself and I said, some new set of millionaires have been made. Instantly, that's what came to my mind. A new set of millionaires have been made on the distribution channel. So, be that as it may, it's a very good palliative for you to sell below the market price of 40,000 naira. Now, from the news I read, the federal government was talking about, it was even specific about civil servants in Abuja to register at their ministries or departments or agencies, those that want to purchase the rice. So they say, if you can pay for a bag, you register. If two can come together to pay for one, but that is limited to only federal government employees. And the government said that they are going to create markets around the country where this rice will be sold. So the problem is not the policy, the problem is the implementation. Now, if you look at it, and like I always say it, the minimum wage favors the civil servant. Now this rice distribution is also going to them. What about those of us that are not working in the civil service? How do we assess these things? And how do we ensure that there's probity, there's transparency, even within the civil service? Will it not be a case of people just bringing in names and writing it down and the rest of it? Now, the way they handle this rice issue will show me if government is serious or not. If it is being shared the same way other things have been shared, then that means nothing has changed. That means you've just made some people millionaires for the sake of it. Because we will just hear, and that's why people always, anything government say, they say it's audio. Because it's funny when you say you share something and you ask about 1,000 people and none can say that they saw it. Simply because those that are supposed to share these things, those that are supposed to sell it, those that are supposed to control the logistics of it, they want to make money out of it. Very soon you see you see those rice will be rebagged and sold. And from the table of the president, it will be shown that 1 million Nigerians, 3 million Nigerians, it will NBC will take it as statistics and will start reading out that 1 million Nigerians have been taken out of food insecurity because they bought 40 kg bag of rice.
I feel there's generally a challenge uh, from policy or a promise from the federal government to implementation. And there is kind of this distance. You know, the 20 truck of rice the federal government promised to deliver to 36 states. Till now, most states have not received theirs. That's from the state officials themselves. What is really the challenge, and how do we feel these things can become? The federal government comes up with a policy or make a promise that sounds almost immediate, but the people don't really see it, or it takes a kind of very long time before we see the implementation, if it happens
I
at
think
all.
sometimes there is a deliberate attempt by some people to hide information from Nigerians. Now that announcement was made, rice, 20 trucks of rice will be given. It was very loud. But since then, we've not been seeing subsequent information or follow-up information to show that okay, so state has received its own, this one has received its own, it has gotten to this state. They at the state level, we have gotten, we have shared it to, we just later you just hear some more later they say they shared it at the local government and nobody knows where. And again, on a lighter note, anyone sharing rice, moving trucks of rice around the country now, well, we dey well, I let me leave it at that. Anybody moving rice around the country now or storing in a warehouse is doing it at his own, because people are hungry and nobody, and hungry man is an angry man. So probably I'm not, let me just speak, maybe the government or those in charge are looking at it that if they release this rice now, it might get to the original owners without registration.
Well, let's see how as things unfold. But we're keeping it down. We're watching out for everyone. Definitely, when it arrives and it comes to our table, we'll inform the public. That's why we are here. It's been a while. The former president Olusegun Obasanjo speaks. Yesterday, he spoke on why they are trying to frustrate the Dangote refinery and the rest of it. You know, last month before the protest, that was what,
The trending
yeah,
story.
the trending story. Obasanjo spoke on these are the reasons why they are trying to frustrate Dangote. You know, people like that have information that we might not have uh, at our own disposal. What's your take on that? What's your view?
He was speaking at an interview with the Financial Times,
Yeah.
and he spoke on. He said as long as some people are benefiting from oil importation, he will do everything possible to frustrate the refinery. As long as some people are benefiting from oil importation. And he also went further to say, when he was president, he invited Shell to come and run our refineries. They came, they looked at it, they said the corruption, the way we run our this thing, they will not be able to do it. And he also said the international oil companies, the IOCs, they did everything possible to ensure that Shell did not take that. Because there's something they're gaining from our refineries not working. Nigeria is a large market for finished refined product. So once there's a refinery here, the international oil companies will lose their market, because the market will now be internal, there will be no more importation of fuel. So he, speaking from the position of a former president, and also he was also minister of petroleum, he started this trend of president being. So yeah, I think he knows what he's saying. He said as long as people benefit from oil importation, they will do everything possible to frustrate any refinery in Nigeria.
You know, there were allegations that some NNPCL officials are having refineries in Malta and the rest of it. But with the president intervened that NNPCL should sell crude to Dangote refinery in Naira. Well, we hope it's been implemented, and let's see how it goes.
One of the officials spoke recently, and he said they've till as at when he spoke, they've not sold to them at Naira. Maybe the next batch of sales will come in naira, but for now they've not received any naira. Not only them, it's not only Dangote, to other refineries too. There are other smaller modular refineries in Nigeria.
Yeah.
Said it should be sold to them. And the man, the representative of Dangote went as far as complaining that the international oil companies, the IOCs, are so much work so much against them that they ensure that they sell crude to them about $4 higher than the market value,
Right.
just to run them aground. So Nigeria has to take President Olusegun Obasanjo say we should not look at this refinery business as the business of Dangote, that it is a business that must survive. If that business survive in Nigeria, a lot of Nigerians and non-Nigerians will have confidence in our economy once again. So it is, if it doesn't work, we should not look at it as if it is him. It's not his business. It is talking about how viable is business in Nigeria. If someone can invest $20 billion into an economy like this, and then internally it is being frustrated, then who am I to bring 500 million? Who am I to bring $1 million into the country? If a Nigerian, the richest black man, and a man that knows his onions, is being frustrated, then it will drive away other investors.
Well, there's this challenge with implementation. I don't really understand why the president will come out and make a speech, make a promise, and the implementation is sometimes delayed or it's not even implemented at all. I feel leaders at all levels should ensure whenever you make a promise or there's a policy, there should be constant monitoring and evaluation because as it is, even when the president spoke in regards to the protest, he's saying he has been doing his policies and he has been doing things, the CNG and the rest of it. But the common man is really not feeling it. So I feel there's a fundamental problem with implementation, monitoring and evaluation of policies and programs of government. And I feel they should look into it, leaders at all levels. It's not just the policy. You ensure that this is being implemented. And if possible, we should have a committee in the immediate that monitors and evaluates all programs and policies of government. Like for instance, this issue of 40,000 naira for 50 kg bag of rice. Maybe it has been released, or but somewhere, somehow, maybe a cabal hijack or are trying to hijack the process. 20 trucks of rice till now has not arrived the state. This what we're saying is over a month or about 2 months and it has not arrived states. What is really happening?
I think we most times we like to make political statements without political will to implement them. I came to realize that most of the statements our leaders make are just political statements. So when they make these political statements, and then with no political will to implement it, with no structure on ground to ensure that it is implemented, there's something I keep repeating it. You can't keep doing the same thing the same way and expect a different result. You know the bureaucracy in government. You know the channels. There is no channel that passes through government that comes out with the results you want it to get. So if you expect that this channel always give these results, you now brought in the best policy in the world and pass it through that same channel without you fixing the channel or doing something about the channel, you are going to get the same result. That is why even multinationals, when they come to Nigeria, you find out that, I'm sorry to say, you find out that even their services will begin to drop. The quality of their services will drop because the channels in which it passes through to get to us is the same Nigerian channel. So the thing is this: government they have to have the political will. You don't appoint once there's no political will to ensure that things work. You just assume that all of us have been out of government before. Thank God the president is a man of is a master opposition leader. He has written a lot of papers. He has made a lot of speech against bad governance, against incompetence. He has been a governor of a state as that is more productive than almost all the African countries. So he should not be someone that does not know what to be done. He knows what it takes. I think what he just need is the political will to make things work. And then the people around him, if they are telling him all is good, I think there's also this issue of sycophancy with our followers. I read a lot of people come to I listen to a lot of programs where people come to speak for the president or speak of in make it look as if everything is good and rosy. Make it look as if the protest is just out of anger. By the time you say protest, they begin to talk with people that lost the election in 2003 and then they begin to no. The indices speaks for itself. There's massive unemployment, massive hunger. People say we should wait, good. We will wait, but while waiting, we have a right. Our stomach is rumbling. Even naturally, if you've not eaten, people around you will know because your stomach will begin to rumble. You begin to ease at every second. So the president should go beyond listening to people that want to make him hear good things. Nigerians are not happy with him. Nigerians are not happy.
Well, we hope things get better. Now to the telecoms. Two students were granted bail. They hacked MTN computers. When I read of this story, we have students, young people that can hack MTN computers. What is the government doing to curtail this? That's on one hand. On the other hand, that means someone is bright. Someone can do things. For you to hack a whole MTN computer, can't we make these boys useful to the benefit of our economy? If you can see everywhere, it's IT. People like Mark, people like Elon Musk, people are venturing into IT, and it's now $1 billion industry. So if we have these young chaps that can do this, why will not channel their energy to the positive and to the right direction? What do you think?
I think that we have a problem. We have two major problems here. The problem of an enabling environment for talents to be nurtured, for gifts to be nurtured, for our abilities to be nurtured. That is one. Then again, we have the issue of purpose, our values. What do we consider as value? Now, we have failed in the area of providing an enabling environment for young people to excel, to positively impact their environment. If I looked at, do you have agencies of technology? We have universities. The other time we spoke about a university that is paying owing discourse. Now, can someone can we truly say that a child can be that environment an enabling environment to bring out the best out of that child? No. We have research institutes in Nigeria that have not brought out any research for years.
Most of them complain of funding.
That is what they will complain of. That is what they will complain of, that there is no fund. But the thing is that the environment we create does not help generally help productivity in terms of creativity. Now then, we have a value system in which money is all. Now the incentive to develop a app, bring it to the market, and watch it grow from 1 naira, 2 naira over the years to $10,000 to $20,000, and maybe it might not work, it will work. You need to do this, you need to do the incentive to do that is little. Why there is something that you can easily do now and earn $1 million because of the value system as is no longer the way it is. The incentive to commit crime is very high. As a matter of fact, Nigerians don't have a lot of hackers, but a large percentage of the few hackers we have go into crime. We have countries that have more hackers than us, but they always channel the energy towards something positive.
Positive.
So we need to see how we are going to channel the energy of these young people into positivity, because the moment they see that the easiest way for them to make it is for them to commit a crime, I'm telling you, there's no amount of preaching that you preach to a young man that is going, that can't pay his school fees, that is in school, that he can't even do the right thing, and he now has this opportunity to tap from where he did not sow.
So,
He will definitely do it. So we need to create an environment that makes them look at it that step by step the future is bright.
well, this is a collective responsibility of everyone, the government, the family system, parent and guardian
Let
should.
me chip in something.
Yeah.
We always say, why don't government carry them and bring them to come and work? Let me tell you something about value system. If his value system is still tinted towards negativity, if you bring him into government coffers, he will use that in this thing to defraud the
These
government,
people.
because his mind is still on the
Correct.
path of money, instant money. So even if you bring them in, we have a lot of them in the civil service. They use it. That is why you see money will just disappear. EFCC will trace and trace, and you begin to see all manners of layers and layers of cover up. So the value system in our society must change for us to really reap the fruits of this technology advancement. Look at music. Look at the way our music is going far and wide. If we can give music to the whole world, control the market space of music in the world, then definitely also we can do that in technology. We can do it in this thing. Let me tell you something about Nigeria. Because of our population, anytime we have beef with other African countries,
Countries, yeah.
we always win,
Yeah.
because the population of Lagos sometimes is even more than the population of the whole country. So when you say Nigeria is a generator country, they call us generator country. By the time 20 million Nigerians answer you and the population of your country is 15 million, how will you? So there's a potential in Nigeria.
You know, there was
There's a
this
potential.
Nigerian jollof
Jollof
and
and Ghana jollof rice. There's no way Ghana jollof can win Nigerian jollof. If only we in Lagos alone or Kano alone vote, they are more than Ghana. So, but and Nigeria is in such a way that we have different tribes, religion, cultures. So people come from different angles to view issues. So by the time a typical Nigerian come, this an Igbo man, a Yoruba man, a Kutep man, they mix up, they cook something for you and they serve you, you will not be able to eat it because it will be so hot.
Well, that's the Nigerian spirit, spirit of excellence, strength, and vigor. That has been our show for today. Thank you for listening. I am Musa Agbadu, and for me, it's bye and have a blessed day.
Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
Haske maganin duhu.